have found yourself on From Dirt We Grow. I'm your host, Stephanie Kendall, and I thank you so much for being here today. Being here in the place where you will find truth and the deep dives into the issues that it'll take to make a change. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button right about now if you haven't already. And I thank you for all your likes and shares as well. Moving right along here today, we have focused on the past and the present issues pretty much so far, but what if we take a look at the future? What does it look like? Well, I suppose only time will tell, but there is always the scientific, the numbers, the stats, the data to provide us with some kind of outlook. And right now, it's not looking so good. This trajectory that we're on is one of, honestly, human obsolescence. Now, let me explain. And don't get me wrong, technology is a wonderful thing. It helps people in a lot of ways. It makes things easier, it saves time and money. What it's not going to save, however, is our occupations, our income stream, our ability to exist. So, the advancement in technology, the AI services, the robotic inventions, they're meant to make our lives easier, not replace us. But that's just what it's going to be doing. Computers and software capabilities have already had huge impacts in many industries. So let's look at what I'm talking about, what's been affected so far. A lot of these stats and facts and figures and stuff I'm going to be providing, I found on winssolutions.org. WINSS, winssolutions.org. This website tells us that there are 48 different jobs AI will replace or impact in the next 5 years. And it also tells us a recent Goldman Sachs analysis warns us that the number of jobs AI will replace could be around 300 million worldwide as automation accelerates. So we're talking about fields like bookkeeping, data entry, accounting. They're among some of the many that have software programs replacing us. Another major area of robotic takeover is like the repetitive and routine tasks, telemarketers, manufacturing, assembly work, customer service. Um, Transportation and logistics jobs are rapidly seeing automation take over human jobs. And one of the largest impacts have been felt by the retail industry. By enhancing customer experiences, optimizing company operations, driving profitability, and drastically reducing overhead expenses. These advancements in technology are transforming the way companies and owners run their business. So, despite the fact that due to online e commerce having become so popular recently, brick and mortars have been forced to close their doors. But trends from the last couple years show us that shoppers still enjoy in person, in store shopping. Now, that can be attributed to simple human nature. We are a social species. Most people need to be in the company of other people. So, for that reason, for the time being, studies show that brick and mortars in general aren't going away anytime soon, or possibly ever. Now, let me just throw a curveball in there. I'm not saying the new generations are unsocial, but it's no secret that they do enjoy their gadgets, with phones and social media, their tablets, the video games. It's safe to say our social lives are shifting from in person to digital. And the assumption could be made that trend will continue to shift that way. So, who's to say the preference to shop in person for social reasons will survive years down the road? Just a thought. Just wanted to throw that in there. So, these brick and mortars that do get to stick around will still be drastically impacted through the need to stay relevant in this revolutionary era. Now, other fields at the top of the list to see their jobs being replaced are the healthcare and teachers and education fields. Though there are certain positions in these fields that are safe due to the need for human judgment, human interaction, human emotion, many will be replaced by computers and robots. So those are just a few of the industries that will be affected in the coming years. But as I said, It's predicted that in the next 5 years, 300 million people are all of a sudden no longer needed that will lose their jobs. That's that's a huge number and a huge impact on America. All right, now let's take a look at these impacts that it's going to have on society. PewResearch.org posed a query, and 305 technology innovators, developers, business and policy leaders, researchers, and academics all responded. Now, they were asked about looking ahead to the next 10 years and what they feel the best and the worst effects of digital technology will have and the changes that will occur. Of these experts, 79% of them were either more concerned about the negative changes rather than excited about the benefits, or equally concerned and excited. The adverse effects are huge. For example, think about who is building the programming for this technology. Let's look at the facts of America's history. There is no denying that systemic inequalities, biases, have been indoctrinated into our nation's fabric, into our very core. For that reason, AI already has a habit of being tainted by the humans who train the algorithmic models. AI gets information from data, plain and simple. So, however that data is input, AI can inadvertently perpetuate discrimination in the criminal justice system, in loan officers at banks, in historical facts. This is a huge problem. It'll keep stereotypical biases alive and actually feed it to our future as truth from a supposed unbiased machine. Also, along those lines, another issue is the capability to create deepfakes and how it will become impossible to know what's real and what's fake. The impact that misinformation has is very dangerous to people and society as a whole. I mean, we see what the damage has been already now in present times. It's going to get much worse if with this technology and the advancements it'll have and the impossible ability to tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. So also the other issue is going to be just the economic effect that it will have on society. If millions of people are out of jobs, there's going to be social unrest. There's going to be personal hardships for those affected. History has shown that technological revolutions like the Industrial Revolution eventually bring higher productivity and new jobs, but in the short term, they create problems for the lower to mid classes because those are the ones that are going to be affected. Those are the ones that are going to lose their jobs first. So, on the flip side of that, the upper class citizens will be benefiting from the advances of AI, along with those that have knowledge in the programming and the technology world. So keep in mind that while a lot of jobs will be replaced, AI advancement also creates new jobs and preserves these other jobs that require human skills. That being said, the younger generation really needs to look at what will be relevant in choosing a field of study in the next few years and beyond. And for us blue collars out there, the people in administration roles, entry level positions in pretty much every field, anyone whose source of income will be affected from the declining need for human presence, it's advised that if you haven't already or don't already have other skills, to seek them out. Seek out the education needed to be in a position that will still be relevant in the very near future. I was thinking about where we're at right now in the hands of our current administration, and this is pure speculation, just thoughts. I've not read up on any of this, and I'm no conspiracy theorist or anything, but seriously, would it be so far-fetched to say that the people right now in AI development, the big techs, are seeing where this is going? These are the people, Trump has surrounded himself with, the billionaires of the tech world. And they're telling them, hey, look, this is where we're going. This is where it's headed. And there's going to be all these people left without income. We're going to have even more homeless people, more crime. What are we going to do with all these people? So, for the sake of argument, let's say, what if they are prepping now for that very occasion? Let's start trimming the fat now. Stay ahead of this. Not too crazy if you think about it. What are your thoughts? Drop me a line in the comments. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think this has anything to do with the situation at hand? Do you think I'm crazy? What's going to be left to do? Like, what could people start focusing on instead of whatever their current situation is that may be replaced very, very soon? Talk to the people, talk to me, talk to us. Let's talk it out. As I said, the benefits of AI and this advancement of technology can mean wonderful things, but however, the repercussions are great and are many. So we should probably be staying on top of this too. We should stay ahead of it as well, affecting our lives, affecting many lives. So let's have the conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing this and for your comments. I want to hear from you and see what do you think. Let me know. Thanks. Have a great week, guys. See you next time on From Dirt We Grow.